7 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation following. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials, grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Allen? Here. LaFour?
Here.
Mr. Ravitch?
Here.
Ricks?
Here.
Schultz?
Here.
Warren?
Here.
Yelenich?
Here.
Good to see everybody here tonight. Approval of minutes for the last council meeting held on November 17th. Motion be in order.
I'll make the motion. Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on those minutes? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to audience comments on any non-agenda items. If you're not on the agenda and would like to speak to city council, come on up, state your name and address, please. I'm going to hold you to about 3 minutes.
Greg Wyrock, 68777 Howard, Richmond, Michigan. First of all, Tim, been many years since I've been in here to talk to you. The last time I told you that I'd tell you good or bad of the sidewalk you put down. Excellent. Now that I'm retired, I appreciate sidewalks so much more. And I was wondering, see, it's still with the agenda. I've got pictures of you also at the same time. My question was how to stop the flooding because you raised the road. Yep. You put a catch basin in my yard. That's still filling. I know I'm not supposed to talk about the agenda that's coming, but is this part of what it's, because I've got pictures of my whole yard flooding.
More than likely it
That's
would
what
be
you're boring.
Storm drain.
Boring and,
Yeah.
but that was it. I just wanted to thank you. I do appreciate the sidewalk now.
Yeah, I know.
You thought it was going to be trouble, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. Anybody else like to address council at this time? And we will touch on, go ahead, Eugene.
How you doing? Eugene Mead, 68811 Howard. A lot of you guys know.
For the television, if you speak into the mic, they can hear.
Eugene Mead, 68811 Howard. A lot of you guys know me. The only issue I got, I walk my dog a couple times a day, and by the tracks, it's horrible. What are you going to do about the speed limit for the guys going eastbound? I see trucks going 45, 50. They speed up right in front of the police department, and it's horrible. I got to wait at Howard before I can cross, because if you look at the debris, there's nuts, bolts, there's debris. I don't want to get hit in the head, and it needs to be looked at.
At the tracks, basically.
Yeah, right in front of the police department, forward. Actually, they start about Weeks Road. And they're going 50, 55 over the tracks.
Yeah.
And the tracks are great. I mean, glad they were redone.
Yeah.
And it helps, but the drivers don't slow down, and it's mostly these big trucks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's all I got. Thank you very much for what you do. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, Eugene. Anybody else like to address council at this time? If not, when we get to items for consideration, council will first deliberate, and then we'll go to comments from the public. Mr. City Manager, any changes in the agenda?
No changes.
City Council, any changes? Motion to accept the agenda as presented would be in order.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Do we have a motion for the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. According to our rules, there's no discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on into items for consideration, which we have 7 this evening. The first one being consideration of special request, well house roof. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider approving a quote for roof replacement and building repairs at the city's well houses and arsenic removal plants associated with our water system. The 25-26 budget includes $50,000 for roofing and building repairs at 5 of the 7 well houses and the 2 arsenic removal plants. 2 of the well houses have concrete roofs and will not be a part of the project. R&J Seamless was the low bidder. The project was quoted for reattachment of existing gutters The recommended award does include the cost of the gutter replacement.
Thank you.
Jim is here to answer any questions you may have.
Jim, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Just that the buildings are all kind of similar, but they have slight differences. Some have wooden gable ends that aren't covered with anything. They're certainly rotten. They've needed work for a few years. The roofs are in various kind of stages, various ages, and need work. But we felt it was cost effective to do all of them now, even if there's one. They're not some are not terrible, but most are. And so we thought, let's just tackle them all at once and be done with it.
Thank you. Is there a motion before discussion?
I'll make a motion to authorize the award of well house roof replacement project to R&J Seamless Metal Products in the amount of $36,500 with expenses charged to the appropriate line item in the water fund.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on this? All metal roofs
Correct.
will be here way after our time, right?
That's the intention.
Even your time, probably.
Hopefully.
Are they all going to be the same color, or?
Yes.
Are they? And what
Yeah.
color would that be?
Well, we haven't finalized that yet. Certainly, right now, the intention is the ones at DPW to be match the buildings at DPW, and then we would carry that color throughout.
Okay, good, great. Yeah.
Got one question.
Yep.
Up where you got the RGA Seamless Metal Products, it says 31,500. And down at the bottom, it's 36,500.
Was
The
it-
estimate?
That's the 5,000 if we
For the
choose to
gutter.
put new
All right.
gutters.
Potential.
That's enough. All right, good.
Yeah. Anything else on this? Any public comments on this item? Back to the table? If there's nothing else, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Is that a spring job?
Yes.
Item number 2 is consideration of special request, well number 9 cleaning. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider approving the cost to clean well 9 on Skinner Drive behind City Hall. $40,000 was budgeted for inspection and cleaning, and an additional $15,000 budgeted for well repairs. Peerless Midwest was the low bidder on the project, and we're recommending that we award the cleaning to them. Until we do the cleaning, we wouldn't know what repairs will be needed. Rebuilding or replacement of a motor, pump, drop pipe, or related components is typical following the cleaning and inspection. The nature of that work and associated costs will not be known until the inspection is completed. Rather than have to come back to the board, we're asking for approval for both.
Very good. Jim, anything to add to this?
No, thank you.
Is there a motion before discussion?
I'll make a motion to authorize Peerless Midwest to clean and inspect well number 9 for the amount of $27,532 with total authorized cleaning and repair expense not to exceed $47,474. The expense will be charged the appropriate line item, water fund.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this? Okay, so evidently we budgeted 55,000 for this.
Correct.
Okay, so I understand awarding the expense to the low bidder here. But why is it coming back for the 47,474 when it's still under budget? I'm not quite sure.
The cost to do the actual cleaning and inspection is less than 47 of 20.
Yes. Yeah. No, I understand that. That's 27,000.
Okay.
Okay. So
The
we budget, here's my point. It's such a definitive number, 47,474. We budgeted 50, the council said you can go up to 55,000. Where did you come up with the 44,474?
That was just
Maybe that's
based
my better
on,
question.
their quote included some estimates for repairs, and so I just thought it was appropriate to
Okay.
be consistent with the estimate, which totals at 47, that number.
Okay, so it's a guesstimate.
That's correct.
Okay. Because in one breath, we won't know until we get there.
Yeah.
And yet we have a definitive number here, and it was confusing to me that we already knew we were going to spend
Sure.
possibly 55K. I got you.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
I got you. Any other discussion on this? Any public comments on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 3 is consideration of special request, Howard Street Storm Sewer Soil Borings. Mr. City Manager.
Howard Street from Division Road to Grand Trunk is a gravel shoulder with generally inadequate shallow storm sewer system. The city's been working with Macomb County Public Works to secure a permit to add a new storm sewer outlet to the Richmond Relief and Branches Number 2 drain, which is the drain that is on this side of the railroad tracks running north from City Hall at Division Road. The new outlet will have capacity to handle the storm runoff from Howard Street and deep enough to allow for the installation of curb and gutter. The project would require jack and boring a pipe under the railroad. The city has secured approval from Macomb County Public Works for the storm outlet and needs a permit for CN to do the work in the spring. Again, this would just be setting the storm sewer in place for a future road project. We don't anticipate that road project being for the next at least 5 years or more. But we would like to get the kind of the setup done this coming spring, and is in the budget to do so. And then, but to do work in the railroad right-of-way, they're asking us to do soil borings around the railroad tracks in that area. So that's what's on your agenda tonight, is a proposal from G2 Consulting for soil borings and a geo soils report. And Jim can go into more detail if you have questions.
Okay. Jim, anything to add at this point?
Just to clarify a little bit, the project, the road project definitely won't be in the next, say, two or 3 years. 5 years is kind of where we anticipate the project, the road project would be done. Certainly there's a lot of advanced work involved. We've been working with the DTE and Frontier to remove utility poles that are in the way of the utility work that would, the public utility work that would be required for the Howard Street reconstruction. This is another big portion of that. So we took quite some time to work with the county to get approval on the permit, because the drain permit, because we are essentially redirecting flow. Now it runs east down 32 or Division Road towards Gratiot, which is deep, not deep enough and inadequate, and we were required to kind of redirect it. So we've got through that hurdle. Now obviously we need to get a permit from the railroad to cross under the railroad. Again, that'll be a jack and bore casing pipe, you know, and storm sewer inside the casing pipe. So this project is really, the approval tonight is for the soil borings, but the intention is to bid out for spring or summer construction, the actual installation of the storm sewer outlet, so the drain tap, and then it would, the pipe itself would end at the intersection of Howard Street and Division, and that would be the limits of this project for that we're anticipating in the spring. The reconstruction is not for a few more years, so, but we would connect into that when we do the reconstruction.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion before discussion?
I make a motion to award the Howard Street Storm Sewer Outlet Geotechnical Investigation Project to G2 Consulting in the amount of $7,650, with expenses charged to the appropriate line item in Major Street Fund.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this item? It's an ongoing project. A lot of people, I'm sure, don't realize that. This has been going on since I was a little kid. We've wanted to do this. We were always told for many, many years that it is so flat out there, there's no place for the water to run. And I owned a home on Howard Street for a number of years, and I was the second lowest. In my backyard, once there was a derailment, we couldn't run the water into the train ditch any longer, and which never got fixed by the train company. We flooded every year. And I'm not sure if it's still that bad. We did do a little bit of work. Not as bad as it used to be. Okay. So, you know, that has a lot to do with, you know, trying to drain some of those properties, but also for the road itself. It is high. That road, we've added on to that road, and added on and added on and added on for so many years. That water just gets trapped, and we all know that. So this is nothing new. We've already spent some money to open up the ditch, the county's drain, which is the ditch along the railroad track on this side of Division, on the north side of Division. We've invested in that already in some other plans that we've invested in. So we're not in the middle of the project by any stretch of the imagination, but it's something the city has wanted to do for many, many years. And I think it's going to really, really clean up what is usually a mess in the spring with all the mud and everything else that we have. But that will be dealt at a different time. This is strictly, as stated, just for the boring, to make sure that we appease the railroad company. Now, if they work as fast as we work for them, that would be great, you know? Anyhow, any other comments on this item? Okay, now we'll go in any comments. If you have a comment or a question, please come up to the podium so the people at home can hear your comments and the answers, hopefully.
John Hafner, 68481 Howard. So I'm right where Dow comes in. We've had one drunk through the years, run right through the stop sign and park in our yard. Is this going to improve, when it is hooked in, will it improve the drainage for me? Because you've been out, Jim and the city manager have been out. Like, it literally runs down my neighbor's sidewalk. It comes off the road, or it continues down the road, but then it comes onto my neighbor's sidewalk, drainage, and then comes out through my driveway. And my other neighbor on the other side of me has it worse. I'm sure you see it every morning on your way to work. She's got a pool, and we have a pool because it can't handle the drainage. So you're saying this would improve that?
Jim?
Yes, anytime we do a project, we certainly intend to address collect all the drainage within the right of way. So in this case, if we're adding curb and gutter, which is not there now, generally speaking, the road will drop at least 6 inches so that the sidewalks are positive drainage into the road. So you'd see maybe slightly more than 6 inches there if you're getting water. If the road's higher now, we got to lower it enough that the water that's on the sidewalks can make it into the road and additional. So yes, the simple answer is we do intend to fix
That's
those
a couple
issues.
years out. Was it on the planning earlier? Because I thought I'd read on a plan that it was in 26 or 27 that Howard Street was going to be redone.
You might have saw that 5 years ago, because
Okay.
we have the plan that we have,
Yeah.
the capital outlay plan.
Had to get pushed out?
But it usually gets pushed back because that's going to be a huge
Sure.
cost. The biggest cost that we're going to have probably in years.
Yeah, and again, there was other utility work, other approvals that we needed the county to be able to take the water that currently runs east down Division, redirect it underneath the railroad tracks in north. So that's no small feat to get all those approvals, and so.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else like to address council on this issue? Okay, we'll move on. Back to the table. Any other discussion on this item? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 4, introduction and first reading, text amendment 156-35, dimensional standards. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to give introduction and first reading to ordinance 156-35, which amends section 5101 dimensional standards of the Richmond zoning ordinance by reducing the minimum gross floor area requirements for principal dwellings within single-family and two-family residential districts. Kind of the long and short of it is, we did a review during our last update to the community master plan, and we're looking at ways that we could help with developers being able to build more affordable houses for new and younger families or seniors, really for anyone. So in reviewing our dimensional standards against other communities in our area, we had higher dimensional requirements than most communities around us. So we were dropping the average square foot requirements by about 16.6%, or roughly, in some cases, 300 to 200 feet per zoning class. So probably the prime example, there was a lot on Grove Street that the house was torn down, it was split into 2 lots, and due to the dimensional standards, they had to build houses that were a little bigger than they could have, and you could have maybe had an easier time fitting those 2 lots on 2 new houses on Howard. So while this could be utilized in new
On Grove,
subdivisions.
excuse me, Mr. Manager, but on Grove Street, you just said Howard Street.
I'm sorry, Grove.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a house on Grove just kind of north on the west side there, yeah, sorry. While it could be used for new subs, it's more likely to be used in infill houses like that. So, and when we looked at our houses around town, there are many houses in some of the older neighborhoods that couldn't be built today, given our standards. So there's a big push in planning to kind of reduce the square footage of the minimum house size. And so we're kind of bringing our ordinance into more modern planning practices. And the city planner is here tonight to answer questions if you have them.
Thank you. Troy, got anything you'd like to answer to on this?
Just as John mentioned, this probably will not change any large-scale subdivisions that are driven by market forces, but it should make infill development, or if a house were to burn down in an older area of town, it would make it easier for them to rebuild. We did do with the Planning Commission a small survey of an area that was developed in the earlier 1900s, and 80% of the lots, or 80% of the homes, were smaller than what we allow and could not be rebuilt to their current standards. So.
Thank you. Is there a motion before discussion?
I'll make a motion to introduce and give first reading of ordinance 156-35, which amends section 5.101 dimensional standards of the Richmond zoning ordinance to reduce the minimum gross floor area requirements for principal dwellings within a single family and two-family residential districts.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion on this item? As noted in your background, Planning Commission has gone over this a few times, just to make absolutely sure that we were making the right decision for our community. And I truly believe, as a Planning Commissioner, we did, and appreciate all the information that was gathered for us to make a good decision on this. And it's, Troy has just said it. You couldn't rebuild many of the homes, I think, in our community if they were to burn down, blow down, or otherwise. They'd have to get special permission from probably a ZBA to get, and that costs a lot of money in itself just to get the appeal. But it didn't make any sense that we were doing that. And as he stated, we were concerned about maybe it'd be too small of housing. Maybe it would be, some of us felt that maybe it could even be trailers that could, fit into this category. And nothing against trailers. They have their place, their zoning, but in this case, you wouldn't want a trailer put in between homes. And so the square footage is large enough that it still requires a fully built home on a piece of property. The other thing is you have setbacks. So you have to have so many feet on either side, in the front and in the back. And you can't do that on some of these properties under the present ordinance, and that's what this is going to change. It's going to allow some homes, and 1,000 square foot rather than 1,200 square foot homes to be built in those lots. And I think it's a great thing. I've got a daughter right now, just sold her home. There's no place. Now, possibly 1,000 square foot home would be a more affordable home by today's standards, rather than 1,200 square foot home that are quite often in the larger parcel areas. As we talked about infiltration, there are some small lots in between homes that can't be sold because we expect a 1,200 square foot home and we expect the same setbacks, and you can't fit that 1,200 square foot home in that setback. So a lot of discussion on this, and I think the end result is the right result for Richmond. So, any other discussion on this? Questions of Troy or John? No? Any comments from the public? Okay, back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. That is a first reading. We will have a second reading at the next meeting. Item number 5 is introduction and first reading, text amendment 167-1, civil infractions. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to give introduction and first reading of ordinance 167, an ordinance which to make certain sections of the City of Richmond Code of Ordinances civil infractions versus misdemeanors. In 2011, the City Council approved Ordinance 160 that first changed nuisance, blight, snow, weeds, and zoning violations from misdemeanors to civil infractions, much easier to enforce than the misdemeanors. Since then, the council reviewed the remaining Code of Ordinances and directed administration to work with the city attorney to draft an ordinance which would switch certain other areas to the civil infractions versus the 90-day misdemeanors. So there's kind of 4 sections. We did it this way so that by approving this one ordinance, it kind of changes 4 different areas of the ordinance. The first one that it changes are animals, so kind of the more simple animals running at large or number of animals in the home. Those sorts of things are going to be civil infractions versus misdemeanors. We will keep the animal cruelty, vicious dogs, and wild and ferocious animals as misdemeanors, but the more common routine animal issues will be civil infractions. And then the second part of the animal ordinances relates to the pet cemetery that we have, that will change the majority of the ordinances in the pet cemetery to civil infractions. We will keep defacing and damaging cemetery markers as a misdemeanor. The third section will be our general cemetery ordinance. So again, if you're in the cemetery after hours or there, many of the minor violations would be civil infractions, but we would keep the defacing a cemetery headstone as a misdemeanor. And then when we were doing some code enforcement this year on some garage sales, we noticed that we had not changed our secondhand goods ordinance to change the we have regulations on the number of garage sales you can have, the duration, that sort of thing. Right now, they're 90-day misdemeanors, so we're recommending that we include that as part of this change, and that those would also become civil infractions.
Thank you, sir. Chief, you're here tonight for other reasons, but do you have any comment on this?
I think the city manager said everything correctly. It makes it administratively easier, I guess is a better way to say it. And also it goes in line with Michigan compiled laws that have recently looked at their penalties and have reduced them to civil infractions.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 167, an ordinance to make violations of provisions of the City of Richmond Code of Ordinances civil infractions.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Discussion? Long time coming, I think the chief said it too. 90-day misdemeanors for your dog being loose, It's like, the first time, not after warnings, the first time. You spend 93 days in jail. It's on your record for life, more than likely. That doesn't make any sense. But we still, if we have a vicious dog or repeated, we could still go with the misdemeanor route. So I think this is a good thing. It's been on council's agenda for the administration to look into, and happy that it's come back. Any other discussion on this item? Any comments from the public on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 6, consideration of board resignation from the EDC. Mr. City Manager.
City Council is scheduled to consider accepting the resignation of Chrissy Wald from the EDC. As indicated in her resignation letter, Ms. Wald's schedule no longer allows her to commit the time required for the board.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the resignation letter from Chrissy Wald from the EDC.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on this item? Thank her for her time on the EDC there, and completely understand her reasons to remove herself from that board. Any other comments? Any public comments on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Our final item for consideration is a board appointment to the EDC. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider confirming the mayor's appointment of Jessica Johnson to the EDC. There are currently 2 vacancies on the board, which includes the recent resignation of Ms. Walton.
Thank you. I would ask City Council to confirm my appointment of Jessica Johnson to the EDC for 6 years. Sounds like a sentence, doesn't it? Till 2031. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to confirm the mayor's appointment of Jessica Johnson to the EDC for a 6-year term with an expiration date of July 1st, 2031.
Support. Motion been made and supported. Any discussion at the table? Jessica? I'd ask Jessica if she'd come up and introduce herself to the council.
Do I have to state my address?
Yeah, you do.
I can.
Yeah.
Jessica Johnson, 35630 Churchill. For those of you that don't know me, again, Jessica Johnson, born and raised Richmond. I look forward to working with everybody on the EDC.
Thank you. Would anybody else from the public like to address this? Any comment? Back to the table.
Mr. Mayor, I'm just glad to see Jessica come forward and fill that role. I grew up, well, she grew up kind of kitty corner from me behind in the neighborhood in Canterbury.
Okay.
And her father used to be on city council at one
Yes,
time too, so
Richard. Yep.
kind of nice to see. Thank
Yeah.
you.
John, did he serve you guys served at the same time? Yeah, okay. I see the big smile over there. It's like a little girl probably back in those days, huh?
I was sitting here Facebooking to see it. I think I know who that is, you know? And when I saw the agenda item.
Any other comments on this? I thank Emily for recommending her to me also. And again, thank you very much. I think she'll be a great addition to the EDC.
I agree.
If there's no other comments, questions, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Thank you very much. The clerk will be contacting you for your sentence. Miscellaneous matters from the city manager, sir.
I'd just like to thank Active Tree and Johnny Meyer for transporting and setting the Christmas tree up. We'll be decorating that, I believe, tomorrow. Also thanks to Sue and Bob Keel for donating it. I think it's the 4th tree out of their yard that we've used up there, so.
Beautiful tree.
Yeah, it is. It looks
beautiful.
really good, and they did a nice job setting it in there and getting the trunk kind of shaved down so that it's pretty straight, so they did a good job. Jim's guys assisted as well, the DPW. So thanks to that, and thanks to all the community volunteers that came out on Sunday with equipment and bodies to put up the city Christmas decorations that are out on the street. We will be having DPW tomorrow go through and reset all the GFIs.
It looked like, I was told last night, there was only a couple that this person drove from one end to the other, and saw 2 of them that were
I remember last night.
Have you too, John?
There was handful maybe.
It's probably the best it's been in years, you know, as far as, they did a lot of work this summer, didn't they, on those GFIs? Did they replace some of those?
Well, we put a lot of rain covers on it. I wonder if that was part of it.
Is that what it was?
But they certainly have had a lot of
In the last
repair
couple,
work they've done.
In the last couple of years, they've been some responsive to Jim. Kind of works with their at DTE's subcontractor to give them the list and pull numbers that when we have issues.
Good. Okay, very good. Moving on to council comments. Michael?
Nothing more tonight, thank you.
Nothing.
Jimmy?
Nothing, Mayor.
Nothing, thank you.
John?
Nothing.
Nick?
All set.
I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. We have a lot to be thankful for in our community and throughout our country. I do have a few things here that I'm sure Parks and Rec wants announced again. Of course, this Saturday, December 6th, is our big Santa Parade and tree lighting. The parade will run from the United Church of Christ right there at South Forest on Main Street. It will run from there down to basically the town clock. The tree lighting, of course, is going to be in our park between Maniachi's Hall and Jay's Silkscreen in the municipal parking lot. So everything gets rolling at about 5:30, doesn't it, John?
Yes, yes, the Santa Parade's at
parade,
5:30.
yeah, the parade and whatnot. But starting at 2 o'clock at Minnehachi's Banquet Center, and that's from 2 to 7, they will be having vendors indoors. But they will also have vendors outside.
I just was informed, I crossed that out.
I was wondering who crossed that out.
Me, Teresa called me this morning, and some of the people that had signed up for outside backed out.
Okay,
And
so everything's going to be indoors?
Everything will be inside this
Okay,
year. Yep.
okay. So, and then we will have trolley rides from 2 to 8 also, with multiple stops. The Historical Village will open over in Bailey Park. They will be open, all their buildings will be open from 3:30 to 5. This is all on Saturday, December 6th. And then, of course, the parade starts at 5:30, along with Santa. There's the Christmas cash drawing is going on also. You come up, get a ticket, or if you buy the Christmas cash, what's the rules on that this
Yeah,
year?
so there's posters uptown and on our website. If you go to a participating merchant and buy $50 worth of merchandise or a meal at some of the restaurants that are participating, you get 5 50/50 tickets. They would go into the hopper. We will give away a $500 cash prize and a $250 cash prize given by Tifa and the Richmond Good Old Days Festival. You must be present to win. So you need to be up there right after the mayor gives Santa the key to the city and Little Miss Richmond lights the tree. We will hand out those 2 cash awards. New this year, we have been working with the Richmond Community Theater, and so immediately following the giving away of the Christmas cash, they will do a performance from their Christmas play, Scrooged, I believe. They'll do, I think, 4 different numbers out in the street, in Main Street, right in front of where the tree lighting happens, so.
And our Main Street will stay closed as long as people want to be out there.
Yep.
Pretty much for at least an hour after everything is over with.
Correct. And so this will
invite
give
people downtown.
Yep, this will give more people a reason to stay and watch the performance there. So they're excited to participate.
Very good. So it should be a great time. Some people have said it's like a Norman Rockwell picture from years, ago. And it's nice to see everybody out, and there's hundreds of people that show up to that, and there's plenty of room for everybody. The Odd is holding a volleyball skills and development with Coach Piper. That's for grades 6 through 8. There is a cost to that. That started November 26th. The next session will start December 22nd, so there's still plenty of time. Any questions on that, you can call the Odd at 586-430-4950. Also, the Odd is presenting a preschool sports sampler, they're calling it. It's called Squeaky Sneakers. It's for preschool kindergarten. That starts on December 22nd, Mondays and Tuesdays only. So the 22nd, 23rd, and the 29th and the 30th. There is a cost to that. Again, questions, contact the Odd at 586-430-4950. And that covers that. We go to our calendar, today being the 1st of December. The Recreation Board will meet tomorrow right here at City Hall at 7 o'clock. Again, we have our annual Santa Parade and tree lighting on Saturday the 6th. A week from tonight, the Library Board will be meeting at 5:30 at the library. The Board Review will be meeting on the 9th. And the Planning Commission meeting that was scheduled for the 11th has been canceled for this month. The next regular City Council meeting will be held right here at City Hall on the 15th. That's 2 weeks from tonight. Is there anything else that we need to put on the calendar? If not, we move on to closed session. We need a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion to convene into closed session in accordance with Section 8C of the Michigan Open Meetings Act, Public Act 267 of 1976, as amended for strategy and negotiation sessions connected with the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement as requested by administration.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion on the motion? Being not, roll call, please.
Yelenich.
Yes.
Lafour.
Yes.
Schultz.
Yes.
Istravich.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
Ricks?
Yes. Motion does pass. We will go into closed session. Let's take a 5-minute break before we do that, please.